or let her in and she'll change it. She may not. Absolutely wonderful morning, fantastic evening, and wonderful afternoon. Got it a little confused, but we all make mistakes. Come on, can you change your name, please? Thank you. This is Carla from the Planet. No, it's not Planet Union. It's People's Union of South Asia. I make mistakes just like everyone else. And hold on, clean off your camera because you are very, very foggy right now. You need to sharpen it up. Thank you. Having said that, we come here to connect the world, to make the world a little smaller. That happens with communication. That happens with talking to each other. The real power and the most powerful power in the world is love. It brings people together. But if we're afraid of people because they're a little different from us, it's very hard, very difficult to come together and speak and feel that love. So when you come together on these shows, either the English show or the Planet Union or People's Union of South Asia, it gives us a chance to speak and gives us a chance to know each other and realize that although there may be a lot of diversity in the world, there are a lot of things that bring us together. I hope the people who are on the show are sharing this out. I am going to send them the link in the chat here. But the purpose of the show is also to have you guys talking together and getting to know each other. And that's what we are doing here. And why am I not seeing this on my page? I don't know. I've already put it there. Let me check and make sure. Yeah, everything's correct. So I should be able to see it in a moment. I am happy to have Victor Irving Jenkins here and Huang, and I hope they are sharing out the show also. And I will go back and get the links for you guys, and you should share it out during the show, not after the show, but during the show, so your friends and family know to come and join us. Okay, Huang, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, Carla, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Did you change your name? Thank you.
Yeah, I think I did it.
Okay, please, Huang.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Carla. And hello, Victor. Long time no see. So my name is Huang. I'm speaking from Vietnam. I'm a teacher in a government university. I have been teaching marketing, economics, and international business for more than 18 years in a government university here. Yes, we have around 10,000 students. They are from different countries and different provinces in Vietnam. Yes, so I really love talking with international friends. And also I want to share my opinions, my perspectives with other people and get connected with different people from different countries to know more about outside, as well as enriching my knowledge. That's also my happiness to be here with you. Thank you very much for having me. So yes, that's about myself. Thank you.
Okay, Victor, can you please introduce? Hoang, what do you have to say about love and teaching people about love? Do you think it's something that's important to be done, or is it something that, you know, isn't that important? You'll get it as you grow up.
Oh, Carla. So, I mean, being a teacher is my happiness, and I do understand that that's very challenging job to be a teacher. So you have to love teaching. So
that's not my question. I'm talking about love in general, loving the world, loving the people around you. How do you feel about that? That's my question.
Yes, I feel very great when I can laugh and share. Yeah. Yes, I can share with other people, and that's the way I can show my love and my contribution to my community and people around me. That's the way I love doing, and I love people from my society and people all around the world. When I can support them, I can advise or give them some suggestion if I can, or other way. Yes, that's a way.
Okay. Victor, can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Victor Irving Jenkins. I live in Sacramento, California, USA. During the day, I am a delivery driver with aspirations of opening up an academy known as the Online Speaker Training Academy. It is my desire to love people as well. I am pleased to be a part of the Southeast Planet Union show, and I am always glad when I get invited. I am married, I have no children, and my aspirations are to help everyone look their best on video while speaking, because I find that when we look our best, we feel our best. And when we feel our best, it's easiest to love.
Okay, what can you define love for me, please?
Love is a decision to care for people as you care for yourself. The most demonstrable characteristic of love is giving attention without judgment. The difficult part of love is that many people who don't look and act and talk like us trigger things inside of us that's also inside the person that's doing it. So love is a decision to regard people in their highest, as opposed to what I was about to say, which was love is a feeling, because love is not a feeling. Love is a decision that is often followed by the feeling of euphoria.
I disagree about it being a decision. Why are you making it a decision?
Because it is not a natural thing to accept people for who they are. Our tendency in life is to look good and to be right. And sometimes we do that at the expense of others. In fact, we do that at the expense of others without even trying to do it. So a decision not to do it is critical if you want to love people.
It's not a decision. It's the most powerful strength in the universe. You couldn't even be alive or here if there wasn't love. We couldn't even be communicating without love. It's so powerful. I'm allowed to disagree with you. Don't look at me like I said something wrong.
I'm not looking at you like anything.
But I want to go a little more deeply into this subject because I think it's a very important subject that often gets lost in the world because we get stuck in thinking, oh, love is an emotion or love is a way of being. And that's not true. And I'm hoping that you two are sharing the show out to your timelines. I already put the Facebook link in. So, Victor, answer my question, please.
You just gave me an observation. You didn't ask me a question.
I'm asking you to give me your feelings on what I just said.
I believe that love is a decision, and I believe it's a decision that has to be made by everyone who purports to love people, because it doesn't naturally occur to be giving and be caring. What is natural for human beings is to be selfish and take. However, love requires us to give.
So, are you saying that when you were born, your mother, whether she wanted a boy or a girl, she had to decide to take care of you? Or was
No,
it a natural thing?
no, I'm saying that when I was born, it was a natural thing to gimme. That's what I'm saying.
No. I'm asking your mom. When did you love your mom right away? Or were you thinking, give me?
I was
You
thinking,
smile. Oh, you thought about it.
Humans do that. When a child is born, give me food, give me attention, give me warmth. A child wants you to give to them when they're born. And when you give to them, you teach them the importance of giving if you do it properly. And as they grow up, they learn to give. But it's not natural for a little baby to just give. A little baby wants everything it wants, and it wants it right now.
You and I are in conflict. What do you think, Huang? And have you shared out the show yet?
I'm about to share it out now because I was talking before.
Thank you. Huang,
Yes, I'm sharing.
what do you think? Do you agree with what Victor said?
I partially agree with him about love is our decision, because sometimes it's not from our decision, but we can do that, yeah, automatically and naturally. We are doing that, yeah, without any kind of like considering or hesitating, but we do it by nature. So so for me, like our attitude, or we are ready or passionate, or mean we are volunteering to do when we love. Yes, so that's why from our heart and also from our like bottom of our heart. So that's also true love. So you are not considering about like a benefits or something for yourself. So you are ready and also available for that to do. So that's why you love from the soul or from the heart. Yeah, not the way you are like counting something about yourself. But of course, there are some advantages and like disadvantages when we have love. Yes, of course, but I do believe that we have more benefits than negative effects, because we are human beings. So love comes to us very naturally. I do believe that.
Okay, if it comes to us very naturally, what does that mean to you?
That means that we are existing and we are presenting in this life. So that's the reason we are a part of universe and also this society and this world. Yeah, so that's the love we show our attitude to our community and our society. That's the way we love people, we love ourselves, and we love our presence in this moment also. That's, it's very natural.
Okay. Do you have anything that you'd like to say back to Hoang, Victor?
To further the discussion,
Yeah.
I'll take a rabbit trail just for a moment. When they invented the printing press, the first book that they chose to print was the Bible. For that reason, I think that the Bible is a pretty decent authority, a pretty good broad assessment of life's lessons. And so I lean on the Bible for a lot of the things that I do in my life. And one of those things is the Bible has a chapter that's dedicated to love. And for me, it is my boilerplate for the way that I feel about love. And if it's okay, I'd like to quote one or two things from that scripture about love.
You can. I'm glad you said that and you asked. Remember, this isn't a debate about religion, but it's a debate giving, it's a discussion talking about the primal force in the world. And I'm saying that so people who are watching understand what you're quoting from the Bible. It's perfectly all right. I have no problems with it. Go ahead.
It says, love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not brag. Love is not proud. Love does not behave itself inappropriately. Love does not seek its own way. Love is not provoked. Love takes no account of evil. Love does not rejoice in unrighteousness. Love rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things. And of the list of things that I just said that love does, I think that you'd be hard pressed to find any of those things that we just naturally do, and we do it without effort.
What do you think, Hoang?
Yes, so for me, I love the way I am right now. I love my presence at the moment, and every single day when I can wake up, I can get up, I can get started with my work and my daily routines. That's the way I love life. I love myself. I love the way I'm doing. So that's so very natural, I think so. And so when we can love the thing we are doing and people around us, so that's how much contribution we can do and we can give to other people. That's showing your patience, your kindness. Yes, that's the thing. Yes, I also agree with that. Like we are human beings, so own characteristic like that belong to our minds, our like a mindset, and also our nature. You are, yeah, how natural you are, that we are human beings. That's that's very nature. I think so, natural.
Why do you think people are afraid to be themselves? Because often people are afraid to say, hey, I'm Carla, I like to talk. You know, I may shut my mouth because I don't want to argue with anyone. Why do you think that exists? Those fears exist.
The thing that causes that is natural. Our natural enemy to showing love and choosing to love is that pesky little thing called selfishness. And in our selfishness, we get in those places that you just described. We have this thing that we describe as our ego, and there are a host of what they call ego defense mechanism, which are things that we use to defend ourselves from feeling a certain way. There is a concept that people live through which I describe as I hurt, you pay. Everybody has this selfishness thing inside of them that rears its ugly head. Just like a garden naturally has weeds, and you have to forcefully pull the weeds, because the weeds are going to grow. Nobody ever plants weeds. Nobody ever tries to be mean. But because the natural state of things is to be selfish, is to take, is to have weeds in your garden, it is an active activity for us to get rid of those things. And so this thing that you describe, why do we do it? Well, we do it because we think that we need protection. And really and truly, we don't need protection. We just need to temper that thing inside of us that I describe as selfishness, and willfully and decidedly choose to love.
Okay. What do you think about that, Hong?
Yes, in my opinion, I think people, I mean, we have some expectation, and also with different circumstances, with different people, they will have different ways and resources to achieve their goal and the things they want. But when they are comparing to other people, so sometimes they feel disappointed and upset. So that's why when they feel proud of themselves too much, and after that, when they compare, it's not as they expected. So that's the way they are not able to overcome their inner fear, like other people will judge them, will criticize them. So they want to avoid and they want to protect their ego, and they feel, secure when they can, cover themselves.
Okay. This is a good conversation. There are people watching. Come join us. Let's learn about each other and from each other. That's the reason the show is done. Don't worry about your English. Worry about learning from someone else and someone new.
We all talk about the inherent power of words. And one of the biggest sources of angst among people are words, the things that come out of our mouth. Now, what a lot of people think is that words have power and that words do things to you, and words cause you to feel this way or that way. But it is not the words that's doing that. It is what you think about the word that's doing it. It's what you're thinking that makes you feel a certain way. Whenever we feel unseemly, or whenever we feel unsettled, or whenever we feel other than how I feel right now, we don't tend to look outside of ourselves for something to make us feel better. We want to listen to something to make us feel better. We want someone to say something to us to make us feel better. But in point of fact, the person outside of us is not the one responsible for that yucky feeling that we have. It is our own thoughts that's responsible for that yucky feeling, and our thoughts can be managed by us. The first thing, the first person that you want to love is yourself. And loving yourself means that you don't allow certain thoughts to live in your mind. You don't allow certain attitudes to be a part of you. And once you get that handled, and believe me, it's a tough job to do that. It's something you have to do on purpose. But once you get that handled, then the things outside of you that's making you feel uneasy will go away because of what you're thinking about it. I tend to think whenever I feel uneasy, I tend to think immediately, oh, this is going to go away. And I do that because feelings and emotions are all temporary if you don't resist them. And resisting them is what we do when we try to get somebody else or something else to make us feel better. So this love is the first and greatest commandment. And I'm all about it. It borders on preaching the way I feel about this love thing, because I live it and I do it every day. And as I have grown older, I have learned that one of the biggest ways that I can love people is to just let them be themselves. Just be Carla, just be Juan. If it turns out that you are something that I don't necessarily resonate with, that's okay. You can be Carla. Whoever you are, you can be Juan. Because I am certainly going to be Victor, big time.
Hoang, what are you thinking?
Yeah, sure. That's so nice to say that we are unique. Yeah, just to be yourself, and also love yourself. It's when you can love yourself, you love the way you are doing. That's all. Also, you can put yourself in other people's shoes, like you can understand other people better, and also can love people more from yourself, because we are the same human beings, right? But with different way, we can show our love. We can show our love for the countries, for our parents and people around me, with different people, with different kind of love. For example, in my country, when parents love their children, that doesn't mean they will give the money or like a financial resources. No, they will give them education and some, like interesting lessons and valuable lesson in life. Even they will stand behind them to see how they work and how they can fail in life without their support and help, like that. So that's the way they are showing their love to their children. Yes.
So you said something that really grabbed my attention, and now I'm sort of losing it, but you said that we're all the same. And that's not true, because we all have a brain. We all have a way of thinking, and we do not necessarily use the words in the same way as another person. I may say house, and when I think of the house I grew up in, which was a rather big house with a lot of grass around it and 2 floors and a playroom and all of that, that's what I think of when I think of a house. Now I live in an apartment which has everything actually really in the same room, except that the kitchen and the bathroom are sort of different rooms. But I don't think of it as a house. I think of it as an apartment. Someone who grew up in a different area, houses could be just an apartment. So when you say house to them, they think of it differently from when you say, I would say house. We all think slightly differently. So are we really the same? But at the same time, we all breathe the same air. And that's the essence of our lives. So what makes us really the same also makes us very different. Would you agree, Huang?
Yes, I agree with that, with you. And also, yeah, even we are human beings, but different circumstances and like a context, we show our love in different ways. But for me, some way I have observed, I feel scared when they show that love to other people.
Why?
Because their mindsets different from other people, from different from mine. For example, here some parents, they show their love by hitting their children to make them successful in life. So I don't like this way at all.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about, the diversity. That is love in a way, but that happens here too. That happens when someone yells at you. My voice gets very loud when I get excited. Huang knows that for sure. But it doesn't mean I don't care about you. It's who I am. It's how I react to certain things. When you get excited, Victor, does your do you get loud or are you quiet or what do you do?
Actually, it depends on what my goal is for the moment. I have been working on this Victor guy for a lot of years, and self-awareness is pretty high on my list of things that I work on. Because the more I know about myself and my motivations, the more I know about you. If I am selling, and by selling I mean transferring an idea from me to someone else. Oh yeah, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be really excited, and I'm going to let that thing out. In fact, I think in my heart of hearts that inside of every person is a little guy just like me. That guy that wants to jump out and go, yeah, baby, give me some love. I love you, right? However, many people don't take the time to find out who that little guy inside of them is. So I may get louder when I get excited. I may temper my excitement. But as I said earlier, I know that feelings and emotions are temporary. So I treat them like they're temporary. I notice them and watch them go by my space when it's not useful to express them. And when it is useful to express them, I let them out. So in answering your questions, I get emotions just like everybody else. But the difficulty for me, and I'm still working on this part, is I am reluctant to react to anything emotionally, because one of my fears is when you react to something emotionally, the people who are watching, the people who are observing, they are able to control you. So I am present to the fact, I'm very cognizant of the fact that I have an underlying fear of other people controlling me, and I know where that comes from. But knowing where it comes from, Carla, doesn't mean that I can eliminate it.
Right, if you know where it's coming from. But sometimes, if you're being authentic, emotions come out. Emotions tell us what we want and what we don't want. They guide us through life. So tell me, why are you afraid of your emotions? I had
I'm not
go on.
I'm not afraid of my emotions. I'm afraid of being controlled. I love my emotions.
Why are you afraid of being controlled? You're controlling yourself.
I'm afraid of somebody outside of me controlling me because in my upbringing, I was raised by very strict parents. And the fact that my parents were strict often stopped me from enjoying myself, often stopped me from having a good time. And I got in the habit of not enjoying myself, got in the habit of not having a good time, and had to undo a lot of that in my adult years. For me, my reality is that if someone else controls you, it's not going to be fun. And if you express all of your emotions, someone else is going to control you.
So don't you think everyone has that issue?
I don't know. I know that I do, and to a degree, everyone does.
Don't, let's try it again. Ask the question differently. We as children are controlled by our parents. They want us to do this. They may want us to become a lawyer. That ain't happening. My dad would have loved it if I had gone and become a dentist. No, that's why all the kids in my family worked in their office. The control that you're talking about is something we all need to deal with. And that's really what Mindful is about, becoming aware of yourself and who you are. So who is Victor?
Who is Victor? Well, the Victor that you see before you, the one that you've experienced over the last few months, that's who Victor is. Victor is a person who walks in love, who understands that the frailties that he experiences, many other people experience them. However, the difference between Victor and many others is that Victor is present to the detriment associated with not controlling himself. He is present to the detriment associated with letting his thoughts run wild. So as a result, he controls them and shares that concept with many others. When I look at the world and listen to people and their life, and just like they listen to me in my life, I see many situations, many unpleasant situations that could have been avoided had the person decided within themselves that they are in control of what they think and they don't have to try to please anybody.
Okay, I agree. You don't need to control anybody. As a parent, if you're not a parent and I'm not a parent, but I taught in school, would you think if you saw your child going towards a stove and putting his hand on the open flame, what would you do?
Stop him or her.
If you saw your child going across the street and a car was coming, what would
Stop
you do?
them. Stop them, help them avoid the pain. And that's a two-edged coin, because some of the experiences in life, in some cases, pain is a change agent and pain can be a teacher. The difficulty with being a parent, in my never to be humble opinion, is knowing when to let the child feel the pain and when not to let the child feel the pain. If you cater to every whim that a child has, then a child does not learn growth, does not learn how to delay their gratification. So it's a tedious little thing to know when to when to let the pain go and when to stop it. And in that regard, parents have my sympathy, because I mean that's tough. It's very tough.
Right. It is tough. But is it in a parent's interest or in a kid's interest that the parent is controlling them at that point.
Well, I think, no, when I look at myself, I am what I describe as a late bloomer. And as a late bloomer, that means that some of the things I'm sharing right now, I'm just finding them out, and other people found them out earlier. My parents did not allow me to be uncomfortable because they were concerned about the results of me going past a certain limit. But the flip side of that is I didn't learn what it was about to go past limits. And exceeding limits, that's one of the prime ingredients of a successful person. You have to be able to go past your limits. The limits that I lived under as a child was such tight limits. I was restricted in a lot of ways that, in my never to be humble opinion, had I not been restricted in those ways, I would be further along than I am now. And that's not to say I'm dissatisfied with where I am now. It's only to perhaps someone who's in the position that I was in, or someone who's listening to me will understand that when the limits are set too tightly, you are limited in your aspirations, because no matter what the limits are, it's a natural part of being human to try to exceed them.
What do you think, Hoang?
Yes, that also happened to me when our parents are so strict. So we are not able to, overcome something we can do, but so it's kind of interfere somebody, impact on our mindset, and also our parents like set up the barriers, so something for us, so they don't allow us to get over. So that's why that's a problem. If our parents are so strict that their children are not able to to move ahead, because they don't want to break the rule, they don't want to upset their parents, and also they want to make their parents proud of them. So they have to obey and follow all the things. That's also the problem. For me, I had that problem before, because I think that's when I was a child, my parents taught me a lot of lessons about being disciplined and strict as a soldiers, because my parents, they are soldiers, so they applied a lot of lessons from militaries to teach us. So that's a way, a lot of hesitation and wondering where in the future should I do that or shouldn't I do that. So that's a way I miss some opportunities to do in life. So that also good for me when I can teach my daughter about new ways. I don't need to upset her. I don't need to apply very strict ways, because children, they have their own rights, own they have own freedom to do at their age. So let them enjoy their childhood, their life, and we keep balanced. Yeah, follow them, but not too strict, to limit them like that. Yes.
Okay, you brought up a point. You don't want people being too strict or limiting of your freedom. But at the same time, do you want your parents around? Do you want them guiding you? Do you want them saying, hey, Hoang, I don't think you should be a teacher. I think you should go to dental school and become a dentist? How would that make you feel?
That's good suggestions. Recommendations are always welcomed. But when you put your power to limit me, to drive me into different way orientation. That's not good when you apply the mindset and the way in my life. But your recommendation and suggestion and you analyze drawbacks and benefit for me. So give me the freedom and right to choose which way I can apply for myself. That's good. That's the way a parent can do and show their love to their children. Yep.
Okay, you often say, my daughter isn't coming because she needs to study. Do you think it's good that your daughter is studying 24 hours, 7 days a week? I hope that question didn't bother you. I'm just curious.
I'm sure it's an oversimplification.
Carla, you know that sometimes we can lead the horse to the water, but we are not able to make them drink.
Okay, so what does that mean in your world?
Something we really want and we expect them to do that, but we don't have enough rights to control them. That's we should like give them some recommendation, advice, like you have said. But when we put our power to ask them to obey or to follow, that's kind of violence. So that's also we negative voice. Yep.
So how do you get your daughter to do something for fun? Even if it's 5 minutes a day. 5.
The play and enjoy activities with her, whatever I can spend my time with her, even laugh, just smiling, watching a movie together. But she enjoy and she feel comfortable next to me. That's a way I can show my love to her.
So do you take her out to the movies once a week? What do you do to allow her to have fun and take her away 24/7? It's really too much.
Yes, 24/7 to study.
Were you like that when you were a kid?
No, I don't like.
Where did your daughter get that idea?
Oh, she nowadays I think at school they have a lot of useful lessons. Yeah, they can be aware of their happiness more. So from like reading some books and also participating in their lessons, they are much better than my generation. So that's why they get to know. Even my daughter told me that, Mom, I'm a child. I'm still a small girl. So yes, I know how to make you proud of me, but please let me enjoy life and give me more time to be myself, to enjoy my childhood, because playing games with friends or reading my favorite books give me sometimes to do my favorite activities. So don't ask me to follow your rules and all of your like regulations or something you ask me to obey. Please, it's from that I noticed that yes, sometimes I'm wrong when I push her. I apply my regulation, my rules on her life. That's not fair.
How do you feel about that? And is it really not fair? If she was cooking and she started a fire because she had too much oil in the pan, isn't it your job to teach her how much oil to put in the pan? Isn't
Sure.
it your job to teach her, please do not play with fire?
Yeah, keep your eye on your relatives, even your relatives or beloved people. That's also the way we are showing our love, of course. Yeah, observe them, guide them, and give them advice and also recommendations on time. It's very useful. Yeah, helpful.
What do you think, Victor? So do you, wait a minute before you say anything, Huang, how do you feel when you say, hey, these are my rules, you're living under my house, you need to follow them? What if she said, I'm going to bring my friends and we're going to play loud music and we're going to be real loud and wild, and Mom, I don't care what you say. What would you do?
Oh. At that time, I feel, a little bit sad, but I will ask her to explain and give me the reason.
Okay, and she said, it's not your business, Mom. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
I
I will
wouldn't
discuss
feel-
further. I will discuss further the results, the consequences after that, what kind of thing you will get, and also also something like a happen around you. What is the main goals or purpose about that? Yes.
What do you think, Jenkins?
I think
Victor.
the child that we end up being is a child that was created by our parents. For instance, it never ever crossed my mind to ask my parents anything, because from the time I was a baby, the rules were simple. You do whatever you are told to do, and anything that you are not told to do, you don't do it. And it sort of feels like a straitjacket, and it sounds like a straitjacket for good reason. But for me, I'm from the old school that says a child should be seen and not heard. And that's kind of troublesome for me as I look around the culture where I live. But in a sense, it helps me grow, because the thing that's inside of me that wants to keep children in a certain behavior area, it has to go away. It's the most amazing thing for me to even consider that a child will say to their parents, I'm going to do it, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
Really? That
I
doesn't
wish I
exist.
was. I have seen this done not in my classroom, but done with students I've taught. I don't care what my mom says, I'm going to go do it anyway.
The mother raised the parents, the mother or the father raised that child that way. When we're born into the earth, we're like an open book. We're like a blank slate, and our parents tend to put whatever's in us into us if we're with our parents, if our parents are even there. So if a child grows up to defy their parents, it is the parents' fault that has happened, and it has happened because of how the parents have raised the child. I mean, there's an old saying in my world that says, if a kid can control his household by the time he's 4 years old, he's going to jail. He's going to jail before he dies, because no 4-year-old has any business being able to control a home. That's way, way too much control.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. There was a child who was 9 years old, I believe 8 or 9, and the parents had me come to the house to tutor him in reading. And the kid didn't want to do it. warned the parent. I said, this is going to be a very difficult assignment for me to do with your child because it's not an easy reading program. Oh, you know what? You give him candy after each time he answers it correctly. And I was like, what? If I'm giving him candy, by the time I am through with him, he's going to be only sugar high, on a big, big, big sugar high, and inability to learn. You need to control this. And you know what the parent said to me? No, the kid knows what he needs. And I was like, wait a minute. It doesn't work that way. You are the parent. But parents don't know that they need to be the parent. They often feel that they are the child, him or herself, and giving the child full access and reign.
And they don't want to see their
Yeah.
child unhappy. They don't want to see their child not laughing, not frolicking, not even realizing that that is how the child learns to manage the world, is by learning to get over those feelings of unhappiness without having somebody else do something.
Right. What do you think, Kamang? I totally agree. But I'm telling you, I have seen this work in more than this one home, but that one home really hit a loop. And I was driving an hour to get there a few times a week. Come on, what do you think?
Yes, I agree with you. Like parents usually want to see their children become successful in life and happy in life, obviously. But apart from that, they also have some like a high expectation from their children. So the way they expect a lot, so they put a lot of burden on their children's shoulder. So that's a way. That's a. I mean, we should consider and we should understand our children and small kids before assigning them some special tasks and duty. That's also, I do believe that's the way we showing our love to our children and small kids.
Okay, right. If you would say to your daughter when she brings home these rowdy kids, oh, it's all right, let them tear up the furniture and throw things around the house, how do you think she'd end up being?
No, that's not good activities. So, yeah, teaching them, educating them in a proper way. Yes, that's very important to show your manner to the life, because you are like a forming their characteristic and personalities. When kids or children, they are staying with you, they can imitate and learn a lot from you. So that's why parents and adults will become very good mirrors for the children, and the children will, I mean, reflects something you are doing, you are showing. So that's a way. That's why adults and parents should be careful when they are doing their activity on a daily basis. Yep.
What do you think, Victor? We're coming down to the end of the show.
I think a little bit off topic that because I don't have any children doesn't mean that I don't have a comment on how to rear children, because I used to be reared myself. And having been reared myself, I think somewhere between what Huang is saying and what my parents did would be a bit of a sweet spot. There's no ironclad system or ironclad way to raise your children because people and children are so different. In fact, I understand that there are 3 or 4 different personality types. I was a very compliant child. And as a result of being a compliant child, I didn't really need my parents to be as strict as they were. On the other hand, my oldest brother, he was not a compliant child and he needed the strict upbringing. So being a parent is a tough thing. Demonstrating the love for your child is even tougher because depending upon the temperament of your child, your actions, your behavior may not translate to them as love. So really, if there was a universal approach, I think love more than anything else would be giving attention. So even if you are applying the wrong strategy to the wrong personality type, if you pay attention to what you're getting from the child, I think that that would go a long way. And of course, that means that the parent has to be mature enough not to be reflective or reactive to what they get from the child.
Well, thank you, guys. I think it was a cool conversation myself. And I hope your friends who may have seen it and my friends may have enjoyed it. And I want to thank you guys for such a great conversation. And we'll probably be back with People's Planet Union next week on the Planet Union show. And let's wave goodbye. Bye, everyone.